Hey everyone, World Film Geek here, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing legendary actor Stan Shaw. He is a renowned TV and film actor whose credits include Rocky, Truck Turner, TNT Jackson, The Monster Squad, Jeepers Creepers 3, and Roots. His latest film, the horror western hybrid The Pale Door, is coming this Friday in select theaters, on demand, and digital from RLJE Films. So enjoy the interview with Stan.
I'm blessed, man. Glad to be here.
That's awesome. So I got to watch The Pale Door, and I love westerns.
What do you think? What do you think?
I love westerns. I love horror. This was a great combination of the two, and you were amazing in it.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll accept that. I'll take that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite genre as well. The two genres mixed together is a blessing.
That's awesome.
It was blended well.
So you've been in some horror movies before. A lot of my friends and everyone knows you from The Monster Squad, and I think by far this movie has one of your best performances in a horror film yet. So before we get right into the movie, what are your favorite horror films?
The Monster Squad, the Entity, Sidney Fury. He directed The Boys and Company. He directed that. Mm-hmm. I love that film. The original Howling, the first Jeepers Creepers, The Pale Door, put that out there first, and the old classic Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney Jr.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So my first question is, what led you to play the role of Lester?
I was doing a film with Ashanti called Christmas Winter Song, and my manager called me, and Aaron, the writer, creator, director of the brilliant writer, visionary, writer, director of Eldor, called in and offered me this role. And when I heard it was a Western combined with witches, and I read the script, I was blown away, and was honored to be considered and to have that offer. And after I finished filming the Winter Song picture, I had 2 days to recoup and fly to locations in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And arriving there and seeing the set and the town and meeting the people and the wardrobe and the class act that Aaron is, and Cameron as well, the assistant writer and producer. It was brilliant, and it was an honor to be a part of such a collaboration and such an ensemble.
That's awesome, and yeah, you were great in it. And for those who are getting ready to see the film or looking to see the film, can you give us a brief description of your character?
Lester is the protector, of two of the dogs died that he knew and from childhood and took care of them. So he just moved into that role of protector, big brother, father figure. And one of them was played by Zach. When Zach decided to make me a second in command, he assumed that seriously. He's not a guy to play with. And I love that concept in the character and in creating that illusion of who he was. Not only who he appeared to be, but who he was, and his passions, and his belief in something, by and die like death. That's his belief, and I love that pureness in him. And I love the fact that when he sees what he sees, that it scares the hell out of him for real. So I all of those elements combined with the brilliant navigation of Aaron and the collaboration with the ensemble, all that combined and put together made this a journey well worth taking for me as an actor. And also the realization of what we had and how we would present it to the fans of horror. The horror fans are the most loyal fans ever. And to be able to give them something as extraordinary as The Pale Door was a blessing, and I jumped at the opportunity to be a part of I go to see a film, I sit down as a member of the audience and I say, "Show me," and I think we've shown them.
Yeah, definitely. I actually spoke with Aaron a couple of years ago from another film he did, and he's clear. He's got such great vision. He's totally a great director from the last film I saw him that he did. So, what was that experience like working with him? Because you mentioned he's such a visionary. Like, did he give you free reign on your character?
Oh yeah, he does. He does that, but he's always right there to guide you when you need guidance. He's a great steerer of the ship. I think he's the next evolution in horror. He's just brilliant, man. It's always a pleasure, and not always. You don't always work with a director who has the skills that Aaron has. Some jobs, as a matter of fact, are just jobs. But then you work with a guy whose vision of a concept which was created in his mind, and the fact that he put pen to paper and brought this to life on paper. Mm-hmm. The honor was to breathe life into the character that he originally created in his mind when he thought of doing this film. Mm-hmm. And when you can work with an ensemble as great as my partners in crime, the cast members, and you can actually present him with something that he thought about when he created this film, The Bell Door. That's a blessing, man. You don't get that opportunity a lot. And just to meet somebody who's as prolific as what he does in the horror genre is a blessing. I can imagine that Stephen King years ago, when he started out, would feel as what people felt about him the way I feel about Aaron. But I just feel he's brilliant, man. And it was a blessing from God to even connect with this dude. And the brother is talented beyond words, and his foresight is great. And it was just an honor to work with.
That's awesome. And you mentioned the ensemble cast. You guys are truly like a band of brothers. Going through hell and back, literally, in this movie. How would you describe like each person in that band of brothers, like in terms of their personalities on set?
Well, it's great. It's exactly like you described, a band of brothers. Everybody has their different, responses and different reactions to different things. It's like everybody's different, but they're the same. I mean, you get a group of guys together who one goal is to present the audience with something they've never seen before, and that's great that they've never seen before, and anticipate what you're doing. Everybody had their own, reactions to what they felt would be honorable in terms of what this character presented individually to sew this whole and weave this whole tapestry as a whole. Mm-hmm. And, Zach, Devin, Noah, Pat, and my boy, partner in crime, Bill Sage, were amazing. And to be in that company with these company of brilliant actors. And it was an honor, and it was great. It was actually a work of ease because you didn't have any extra crap going around on the set. We were a crap-free production.
Well, I will say, my favorite scene of the film, my favorite scene is actually not a death scene like most horror films. Like, oh, this is my favorite scene where someone gets killed. My actual favorite scene is when you're talking to Devin and you tell him the truth about his father. I felt that was so, in a way, that was so emotional. And I felt in a way like, because Devin's such a, like a young actor, and here you are, in my book, a legend. It's like you're passing the torch in some way to him through that one scene. I thought that was an amazing scene.
That's amazing that you picked up on that, because when we actually filmed that scene, that still is what you just described was on the set with all of us. And it blew everyone away. It was blown away. It was, you could hear, an ant piss on a flower, because you could just hear it was that quiet.
Yeah.
And to actually work with him and to get to where we got in that scene. After cut, there was applause and congratulations and all the things you hope for as an actor, as a creator, of pulling something out of someone or sharing something with someone emotionally when you're on screen together. Devin and I had that. There was a camaraderie that's rare in film, especially these days, when you get to work with a brilliant young kid as Devin is. And you're open enough and he's open enough to trust you and to where you're guiding him and you're both being guided brilliantly by Aaron. It was just a magic moment, man. It's part of the majesty of making film. And it's part of what we long for as filmmakers, to connect spiritually, emotionally, dramatically, at the same time, and make a scene pop. We felt it when we were doing it, and we had to feel that in order for you to see that as an audience member. So to hear you say that was your favorite scene, man, I've got like rockets and fireworks going off in the back of my head. I appreciate that. I thank you.
Awesome. So my final question is, with film production slowly coming back, and TV production, are there any new projects in the works that you can talk about?
Not that I can mention specifically, but I have some screenplays that I've written, that I want to get off the ground. I've given a few of them to Aaron, his company, and Cameron, that I hope to work with them again on something. But I can tell you this, whenever you see my name, it's something that I've taken great consideration in thinking about being a part of, presenting to the audience as a whole, because I revere my audience, and I honor them by trying to give them every little bit of what I got creatively to make them feel worthy of sticking in the audience for 2 hours and watching. So it'll be something spectacular. I will not cheat them.
Awesome. So The Pale Door is coming out this Friday. Those who love westerns and horror, they're going to love this mix of outlaws versus witches, and with such these twists and emotions. And Stan, this is my one of my favorite performances from you, and I want to thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it.
Wow, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. The Pale Door is going to be a classic, and I think American public as well as the worldwide public are going to fall in love with my partners in crime. So thank you, I appreciate that. Go check us out.
All right.
And hit me up on social media and let me know how you feel about it.
All right. Well, you take care, and I hope you stay safe.
You as well, brother.
All right.
And